All right, so the first thing we're going to do, right, is we are going to write our name across the back. Mr. C, and say we came from G4. All right, now there's several different pictures I can choose from. There are ones where there's really two parts, like the sky part and the land part, and then some places where the land is sort of is cut up into several different parts. I'm going to do one that's a little more complicated than one of the others. First, there is a large lump that comes across it, okay, and it follows all the way to the edge. Then there is a background where there's a mountain back there behind it, and then coming across here is a grove of trees. That's a bunch of trees, and it is in basically a shape that looks like that. That is number 2. If you're looking at the shapes up there, this is number 2. Now, I wrote that up there. Don't write it up there. I just wrote it up there. I'm going to erase it. Now, you'll notice that these lines are very light, so I can pretty much erase. But you could see how much trouble, even with the fact that I didn't do it very hard. Now, I'm going to start with the sky. And this sky happens to get darker at the bottom, all right? So I'm probably going to put more, right, emphasis on this sky at the bottom than I am at the top. And I'm going to add more water as I go up. Why? I want different layers of differing values within my blue. And now we're going to go back over this, and you'll notice that the water will, what we call, bleed up into the other one. Now, you can't keep going back and forth, because you already see there's these little pill things starting to happen. Those things will end up cutting right through your paper if you don't watch it. So you can see now I have that middle part done. Now, this is a little different than some of the other ones in that this is green back here with some reds and stuff in there. And so it sort of reads brown in some places. And this whole section in here is really different bits of orange. I am actually going to do my bits of orange first. Much less likely to mess up. I'm going to start with putting in a bunch of yellows. All right. I just put them in there. Now, I'm filling in these spots. I'm not trying to draw individual trees. It's really too hard to do that in a certain sense, all right? I really want you to find the overall shape of the landscape, and I want you to fill it in with the kinds of colors and stuff that we were doing last week. Now, if you want to be a little careful about where you put the red afterwards, well, you could do that, all right? I'm just going to go ahead and fill this area in like this, okay? Now, one of the things that I found interesting is there's actually 1 or 2 greens in here. So I'm going to hit a green or 2. Now, remember, that will make brown wherever it actually meshes together, all right? So now I have that section done, all right? Now I have a very light green part down here and a little darker green part up here. Well, I am going to take and put in this yellow across here, all right? And then I'm actually going to add, for my darker, I'm going to add this blue to make the green, all right? To make a dark green, I'm going to keep going over it. Okay. I might even go back over it with the green, so it all is a little slightly different colored greens in there. Now, back here is the darkest. This isn't so far away that it's starting to do that atmospheric thing, and I'm going to add quite a bit of blue to that, so it shows that that's a different section. All right, notice I left that a little light up here at the top. All right, I might even go back over it once it dries a bit, add a little bit more little bit at a time. Now, I tend to use a little bit watery colors, so it goes a little quicker and is a little less finicky kind of picture. Now, down here at the bottom is the lightest green, and I'm going to get quite a bit of yellow in here. And then I'm just going to barely touch it with this light blue. It's slightly different. Now, if you don't like something, you can scrape a little bit of it off if you want to. Go back over it with this. Now, if I wash my brush out good, I can go back over again. Oh, that's that's very close to the same color green. Now, there are some places where there was a little bit of magenta poking through. I don't know what kind of plants these are, but they're almost pinky. And I'm putting them in there. And to make them a little darker, I'm going to take this, put this in here too. Ooh, that was too much. All right, sometimes that can happen. You put too much in it. But the wonderful thing about all this is that when we take the actual picture away, we only have the picture of this, and this looks pretty cool. Now, there's some places where my water blurred together a little bit. It's not going to be perfect. What I want you to do is figure out shapes of things. I want you to find differing values of things. I want you to actually be looking at a Maryland countryside, which is why we have what we have today.